it may be a week roughly into November by the time you're seeing this wrap up. Better late than never. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa and today I'm doing my October wrap up. Yeah, it's a little late. I should have had this at the beginning. But what are you gonna do? So this month was kind of pathetic. Again. I feel like I've been so busy, but I haven't even done that much. And I'm not entirely sure why my reading has kind of just went. So yeah, I only read 2 books this month, and I read some of other books and I didn't finish those things, so we're not gonna even talk about those because we all know what they are. But I did start and complete 2 books in October, so I feel like that's pretty darn good. Ironically, one of them was at the beginning of the month, and then the last one was at the end of the month. Go figure. So the first book that I read in October was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This was a reread for me. It's been years since I've read this book though, so it's nice to have a refresher. And if you saw my TBR, I'm continuing with the reread. So this is about a girl named Blue Sargent who lives in this small town of Virginia, and she is in a family of psychics. However, she has no psychic ability herself. She's more of an amplifier for the other psychics. We also have a group of boys who go to this like preppy school, all boys school, and Blue calls them Raven Boys because they have this raven emblem on their shirt. And their paths intertwine, and they're all going towards a common goal of looking for a dead Welsh king who can apparently grant a favor if you find him and you wake him up. This book is so good. If you haven't read The Raven Boys, I highly recommend it because it's just so well done. The concept is so simple, but the characters are really what make this book. Each character feels so well fleshed out and so real, you know? Like, you can picture any situation with these characters and figure out how they would go about it and work through it because they just feel so realistic. I listened to this on audiobook on our way home from vacation. So we went on vacation at the beginning of October to see family and went to the beach. It was lovely. It was short-lived though because there was a hurricane on the horizon. So we left early and we were gonna fly home originally, but the hurricane was gonna hit near the airport first. And I was like, We ended up renting a car and driving home in a couple days, and we listened to the first book on that drive. I actually got my husband to join in, and I feel like I should win a prize for that because my husband rarely listens to audiobooks, and now that's all he does when he's working. He has a job where he can like listen to stuff at the same time. So he listens to a lot of audiobooks now. He's read the entire Raven Voice series. He's read Strange the Dreamer, and now he's on Way of Kings because I begged him. So he loved this, and he made a really good point too, is that Maggie Stiefvater writes adolescence so well, so realistically, where it doesn't feel angsty. It feels like actual teenagers. So obviously I love the series. I love this book. 5 out of 5 stars. Can't wait to continue on. It's gonna be a great time. I just have to say, my outfit, hair, makeup today is on point for last minute deciding I was gonna film. Okay, and the last book that I read is Horrid by Katrina Leno. I did a 24-hour reading vlog, so I will link it up above and you can go check that out for yourself. I really enjoyed this for the most part. There was just a few things that I was kind of just like, what? This follows a girl named Jane and her mom Ruth, and due to her father passing away and suddenly being bankrupt and broke and destitute, all that stuff, they move back to her mom's childhood home in Maine, which is like a creepy mansion that's a bit run down and in the middle of the woods. A recipe for disaster, if you asked me. Once they get there, not all is as it seems. Seems like the house has a dark history. Her mom's got some skeletons of the past coming up, and there might be a ghost. I was expecting to be incredibly spooked. I know I talked a lot about in the reading vlog how I was a little spooked, but not to the extent where I had to put the book down, which was what I was expecting, because I thought I was a big chicken, but maybe I'm not anymore, I don't know. So before I get into more negative things, let me talk about the things I liked. I really enjoyed the writing. The writing style was really good. It really pulled me in. I didn't want to put the book down. I kept reading and I kept reading, which is something I haven't done in a long time. Also probably helped that I challenged myself to read it in 24 hours and I was determined to do it. And the writing was really addictive. It was really easy to get into. And when I put it back down and picked it back up again, I didn't feel like confused. Yes. Because sometimes, like with some books, you're like, oh, if I put this down, I am going to be a little jarred when I pick it back up again. Way of Kings. Another thing that I really enjoyed was her mom. The mom was probably the most interesting character in this book, just because she started off like super like chill and cool, and as the book went on, she just got really unsettling. Like the things she was hiding mixed with the fact that she just would sometimes randomly stare out into the distance and like have this internal panic attack that you know is rising, but she's not gonna let you see it. I thought Jane was interesting sometimes. I would have liked to learn more about her dad and her past and a little bit more about some childhood memories, because I think that really adds to the book, but I feel like we didn't get a whole lot of that. I also really liked how the author talked about grief in this book, how, you know, grief isn't just one thing for everybody. Everybody shows it differently, and we kind of almost saw all the stages in this book. I also liked the fact that our main character had serious anger issues. I don't see that very often, and you know, when characters are like, oh yeah, I have anger problems, I'm hot-headed. Are you though? This chick is. She's got issues. She would go from point A, being angry at someone, to point B, that person on the floor because she beat him up. And she had no idea how she got to that point. Definitely a thing there. She also had some other mental illness things that she had to work through, which honestly never really were worked through. They were talked about. Her mom said, you gotta quit this, and then never did. Which brings me to some of my disappointments with this book. I wanted to be more spooked, like I said. I thought that the ending was so weird. There were two sides to this ending. One, cliche. It was so predictable. I saw it coming. As soon as the ghost part started getting introduced, I'm like, oh, I bet you this is it. And sure enough, I was right. I feel like it's like a trope for every ghost story. You know, it's the ghost is somehow related to someone in the book. And it's just like the ghost wants revenge. And I'm kind of like, huh? Why can't we be original? Yeah. So the other thing I didn't like about the ending was it was open-ended. It was so vague and so weird. And I'm still kind of like, why? I'm the kind of person who likes my endings nicely packaged in a bow, and this was not it. It's ended at such a dumb moment that it frustrated me. I wanted things to be resolved. I wanted the Ghostbusters to bust in and take care of it, but that obviously didn't happen. And instead of getting this like clean-cut ending, we got vague city. Who knows what happened? Did she live? Did she die? Did she go crazy? We don't know. And another thing about this ending, and I'm sorry, I did enjoy parts of this book, I swear, but there was just a lot of things that I was kind of like, this is stupid. The mom, being my favorite character, there was nothing resolved with her. It kind of just left her off literally in another room for the entire end of this book, and that was it. We didn't see what happened with her. We don't see the aftermath of all of this. It was so bizarre. I would have liked a better ending. That's like my biggest pet peeve. I can get past the cliche if you give me a good ending. I hated it. I hated this ending so much because I hate ambiguous endings. That's the word I was looking for earlier. Now I found it. So yeah, not a super productive reading month. It was kind of busy because I had the vacation, and then it was Halloween, and then all this other stuff going on in my life that it was just kind of crazy. So thank you all so very much for watching. I am so excited to get into November's books because I have a good feeling about this month. Let me know down below your favorite book that you read in October. I would love to know. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and give this video a thumbs up if you want. No pressure. We're chill here. And I will see you very, very soon in the next video. Bye-bye!